Stay silent, not because you are weak, not because you have nothing to say, but because you finally understand something most people never do. The world is loud. Everyone is shouting opinions, emotions, excuses, pain, dreams they will never chase. Noise has become normal. Silence has become rare, and anything rare becomes powerful. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is control. When you stop reacting, you start observing. When you stop explaining, you start understanding. When you stop proving, you start becoming. Most people talk because they are afraid. Afraid of being misunderstood. Afraid of being ignored. Afraid of being judged. Afraid of sitting alone with their own thoughts. But the moment you learn to sit in silence without discomfort, you step into a different level of strength. Silence teaches you patience. Patience teaches you timing. Timing decides everything. You don't need to announce your plans. You don't need to justify your decisions. You don't need to defend your character. The lion doesn't explain why it's dangerous. It doesn't argue with sheep. It doesn't roar all the time. It waits. And when the moment comes, everything happens naturally. People underestimate silence because they mistake it for weakness. Let them. Underestimation is an advantage. While they are busy talking, you are learning. While they are busy reacting, you are calculating. While they are busy proving, you are preparing. Silence sharpens perception. You start noticing patterns. You start understanding people's intentions without them saying a word. You begin to see who is genuine and who is temporary. Words can lie. Silence never does. The quieter you become, the louder your results speak. Most people want instant respect. They chase attention. They beg for validation. They crave approval. But real respect comes naturally when you don't ask for it. When you stay silent, people project their assumptions onto you. They wonder what you're thinking. They question your depth. They feel uneasy because they cannot read you. Uncertainty creates pressure. Pressure creates authority. That's why silence commands respect without effort. You don't interrupt. You don't overshare. You don't react emotionally. You listen. You absorb, you move when the time is right, and suddenly people start listening to you. Even when you say very little, silence builds discipline. Discipline builds confidence. Confidence builds presence. Presence doesn't need words. Think about the strongest people you've ever met. They didn't talk much. They didn't complain. They didn't explain themselves. They carried calm in their eyes, certainty in their movements, and silence in their voice. Silence is where clarity is born. When you remove noise, you hear your true thoughts, not society's expectations, not people's opinions, not fear disguised as advice. Your real voice speaks in silence. That's why silence feels uncomfortable at first, because it exposes truth, and truth is heavy. But once you embrace it, everything becomes simple. You stop chasing, you stop forcing, you stop begging. You let things come to you, and they do, naturally, because when you are aligned internally, the external world adjusts. Silence also protects you. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts. Not everyone needs to know your next move. Not everyone should understand your strategy. Privacy is power. When people know less about you, they can't interfere, they can't sabotage, they can't manipulate, they underestimate you, and that is freedom. Silence is a filter. It reveals who is patient enough to say and who was only there for noise. You don't lose people by staying silent. You lose distractions, and distractions are expensive. They steal focus. They steal energy. They steal potential. Silence gives you all of that back. You begin to move differently, speak less, act more. Your emotions stop controlling you. You control them. You realize you don't need to react to everything. Not every comment deserves a response. Not every insult deserves energy. Not every challenge deserves attention. Sometimes silence is the loudest answer. It says, I see you, I understand you, and I choose not to engage. That level of self-control is rare, and rarity creates dominance. Silence also builds inner strength. You learn to stand alone. Without applause, without reassurance, without comfort, you become self-contained. You stop seeking motivation from outside because silence teaches you discipline from within. You do what needs to be done, even when nobody is watching, even when nobody cares, even when nobody believes. And slowly, without announcing it, you become dangerous. Not loud dangerous, not aggressive dangerous, calm dangerous. the kind of dangerous that doesn't warn, the kind that doesn't threaten, the kind that just executes. Silence turns pain into focus, anger into strategy, fear into awareness. Instead of exploding, you compress, and compressed energy is powerful, like a spring pulled back, waiting for the exact moment. Everything comes naturally when you stop forcing. Relationships align, opportunities appear, confidence settles in. Because desperation repels, calm attracts, people feel safe around silent confidence. They trust it, they respect it, they follow it. Not because you ask them to, but because your presence speaks. Silence also teaches humility. You realize you don't need to be right all the time. You don't need to win every argument. You don't need to prove intelligence. True intelligence is knowing when not to speak. When you stay silent, you avoid unnecessary battles, you conserve energy, you protect peace. Peace is priceless. In peace, you grow. In chaos, you survive. Silence removes chaos. The more you practice silence, the more your life simplifies. Fewer regrets, fewer misunderstandings, fewer emotional mistakes, clear mind, steady heart, focused direction. Everything starts to flow naturally. You stop chasing people. The right ones stay, the wrong ones leave. You stop chasing success. You prepare for it, and preparation attracts opportunity. You stop chasing validation. You build value, and value creates recognition. Silence doesn't mean isolation. It means selectivity. You choose when to speak. You choose who to trust. You choose where to invest energy. That choice is power. Most people live on autopilot, reacting, talking, complaining. You choose awareness. And awareness changes everything. Stay silent when emotions rise. Stay silent when ego wants to respond. Stay silent when anger wants control, because after silence, clarity comes. And after clarity, right action follows. Not rushed, not emotional, not forced, precise. Silence teaches you that not everything needs an answer today. Some things resolve themselves. When you give them space, nature works in silence. Seeds grow underground. Stars form in darkness. Strength is built quietly. So are you. You don't need to tell people who you're becoming. They'll see it. You don't need to tell people what you're planning. They'll feel it. You don't need to announce success. It announces itself. Stay silent. Work in the shadows. Grow without noise. And one day, everything you wanted, everything you worked for, everything you became patient for will come to you naturally. Not because you begged, not because you forced, but because you were ready. Silence didn't make you invisible. It made you unstoppable.